Hi, I'm BJ, and this is the Arcane Alienist Podcast. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing okay out there. I'm back with another previously recorded segment. This will be part two of Worldbuilding with the Black Sword hack. So we'll get into the remaining details of the world that I'm kind of semi-randomly generating with the procedures in the Black Sword hack, Ultimate Chaos Edition. So I hope you've been following along and enjoying that. I noticed I got a kind of typical number of listens through the podcast according to Spotify's numbers, but I also got for the first time quite a few views on YouTube. Up until now, it's just been a half a dozen at the most, typically. But this one has gotten quite a few views on YouTube, at least the previous Worldbuilding. So maybe I don't know if that's just a fluke because of the title or if YouTube audience is picking up. I am going to though turn on comments both on Spotify and on YouTube. I've been kind of hesitant to do that. I didn't want to kind of manage a comment section, where people might troll or get nasty. But I think even with the size of the number of listeners, even if everybody left a comment, it's probably manageable. So, we'll be optimistic that people are going to be cool about stuff and not just getting in there to be ugly and uh, not that constructive criticism isn't welcome or things like that. But so you guys know what I'm talking about. The internet is just full of trolls. It can be kind of nasty. So, but we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. So, like I said, stay optimistic about it. That being said, all the options still remain to send me a voice message through SpeakPipe, to contact me through the Audio Dungeon Discord, to send something by email. All the information, all that stuff is you know what? I don't know if I've been posting it in the show description like I used to. So I will double check that on the show description. So, but whether it's leaving a comment now on YouTube or Spotify, or contacting me with a message directly, in one of those ways, I'd love to hear what people think. And with that, we will now return to Worldbuilding with the Black Sword hack. So I also went ahead and created. It wants you to create a city. Um, you build. It says build your world. There's the struggle. Before I get to the city, though, there's a thing that says the end is nigh. It can be either a plague or a natural disaster that is also going on in the background. Again, we're supposed to be in an era where we're maybe possibly approaching the end of the world, or at least the end of this epoch of the world. And so what is going on with that? You can roll on these tables here, and you get, let me scroll up my document so I can tell you what I got. You can either do a natural disaster or a plague. So you just pick one. So I think I just rolled a die high. I was going to roll high disaster, roll low plague. I rolled high. So I got a natural disaster and rolled on the table and got volcanic eruptions. So there are an increase in volcanic eruptions, which fits well with that flavor of there's a dead volcano. Maybe some dead volcanoes are coming back, and that might be a way that the world is threatened. And then again, the dice sometimes just line up perfectly, right? You can also add a political event. There's that's also kind of causing problems. D12, and the D12 that I rolled was counterfeit money. So for starting in the merchant leagues, counterfeit money might be a real problem. That didn't come up in my first adventure, as we'll see, but it'll be there in the background. I'll have to remember to then that might be a good thing to just, I think, what I think I will do moving forward, now that I think about it, is maybe you roll a die at the beginning of either each day or each
I just kind of port this in maybe from the concept in from Mortborg. Maybe at the beginning of each adventure, at the beginning of each day, or so often you roll a die to see, hey, does this thing rear its head? Do either of these things rear their head where you're at? The consequences of it. Now, if you're not near a volcano, you may just get a report of a volcano, or you may get something that's going on where someone has fled an erupted volcano, or it's caused kind of the butterfly effect. But the problem with counterfeit money can probably come up anywhere where people are exchanging money. All right, then you get some seeds for each of these types of places if you need one. But back to the city, because that's after you build the world, it says, it also asks, what about balance? And there's a table where you can roll on the balance. And it says, there's got to be some place where balance is. It may only exist in a secluded location, far away from the struggle. So you would think, that city now, the Forbidden City, of course, it's fallen into chaos. Balance is an underground refuge built by an ancient civilization. And here's something that I actually had created the city before I came. I had skipped this page in the book, and then again, where the dice just sort of line up, I rolled and it said an underground refuge built by an ancient civilization. Okay, so I created a city. It won't be the city we start in, but it's nearby. Because of the way the story kind of comes together with my character. It didn't make sense to be in this city, but this may be a place where we head very, very soon. So you can, and I haven't completely fleshed out the city yet because I didn't need to, because we didn't, again, the story didn't start there. But again, it's sort of so this is, I would consider this maybe the capital or the central city, or the most powerful city, or the lead city in this merchant league. And what I rolled up, again, I've got to find my notes where I fleshed it out a little bit. So there's my city of law. Yeah, I actually fleshed out two cities, and I'll describe them to you here. But the one that was supposed to be kind of the starting city, it sort of asks you to, what is the city known for? That was really the prompt I jumped on. There's a table with 20 results, and what I got is, pardon my dog barking while I find this on the map. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That it is known for its hundreds of forges, which produce weapons made with a red iron from beneath the city. And I thought, okay, let's get into some weird fantasy. This is a human-centric world, but that doesn't mean that there's only humans. What are we going to do here? And I'm thinking of, iron that's red, and it produces superior weapons. And first thing I think of dwarves when I'm thinking of fantasy. So this is the city of 1,000 forges, and I named it Blotcharn, which means blood iron. I kind of looked away, you might say that in I think Norse. Blotjarn, which makes it blood iron. So it's aligned with balance. Commerce is its chief concern. It's thriving economically because it's part of this merchant league, but particularly for its trade in weapons and iron goods as the basis. It's got a peace that's kept by a peacekeeping force there in the city. But there's also the city itself is sort of run, or at least it's built up around this group called the Grand Order of the Forge. The order is a semi-secretive guild of metalsmiths, because there is sort of weird sort of magitech available here. I thought maybe these are the only people they're kind of artificers. They're the only ones who make these weird devices. The order has an ancient pact with the dwarves that live beneath the city who mine the blood iron. The forgers are the only ones who can know the secret of working with blood iron. They learn it. It's a jealously guarded secret. They have some sort of arrangement with the dwarves. The dwarves have passed these secrets. Only a master forger can learn to speak the dwarves' language, and actually communicate with dwarves. Nobody else, no other human is allowed. You will be shot dead, killed on sight if you approach the dwarven stronghold beneath blot yarn. Only the members of this guild can. Only the Grandmaster Forger, the head of the guild, knows the complete history and the precise terms of this agreement they have with the dwarves. So the order is, again, it is kind of aligned with the balance, but acts according to its own designs. It's not really gets involved in politics, alliances, war. It's just really concerned for its craft. It's got this sort of need to produce iron goods, but now this whole mercantile city has built up around it to buy the goods and trade for the goods. So, and again, the dwarves won't communicate with anyone other than the order, the grand order of the forge. All others are forbidden into their realm beneath the city. So I imagine there's this dwarven stronghold. Probably, maybe this is a dormant volcano. And they're down there. There's blood iron, and they make this pact with this group of humans to trade some of their secrets. As long as, and there's something mystery. We don't even have to know what it is. That's what's the nice thing about sword and sorcery. It never has to be explained. The world can end with that mystery never being solved. It just is, and it's weird, and it's fantastic, and it's kind of interesting, right? And so again, so now you have this sort of, you see where the origins of this merchant league come up as commerce starts here, and it diversifies as you get into approaching the coast, and there's trade with the cities, the seas, and across the sea, but and in all directions, running into places where you can find new opportunities for commerce. So it's really doing well, but here's the heart of it. But of course, there's this volcano. We talked about volcanic eruptions being a threat, so maybe that'll disrupt something. It would be interesting to place, if the Forbidden City was the traditional home of balance. But what if the dwarves are the guardians of the balance? What if it says balance is in a far place? What does it say? Underground, built by an ancient civilization. So that seems like a good place for maybe the dwarves are also the servants of the balance that sort of act in a way, subtly or through human agents, or I don't know. Lots of places we can go with that, and no reason to lock any of that down or set it in stone. And then I also created, I felt like, if you got for chaos, if you got this puddle of protoplasm somewhere, that can be in a lost swamp or a tomb or ruin somewhere. Who knows where that is? But I did say that there would be this place that we might want to place in the theocracy that is sort of supposed to be the seat of law. Telios, the city of law. It's a great city of white columns and archways and domes. Within the city, there's the House of Law. It's a big temple. It serves as the seat of law in the mortal realm. The city is ruled over by keepers of law, which is an order of priests. It's a highly structured and orderly society here. Very tranquil. Isn't subject to change. In the innermost sanctum, there's this large automaton sits on a throne of glass. The automaton is called the Sapientia Rex. It's said to be a creation of the lords of law themselves. It's this genderless humanoid made of bronze. It's got kind of white toga. It's about 10 feet tall. If it would ever stand up, it never stands up. It just sits on the throne. But that's how big it would be if it ever stood. It's completely devoid of emotion. It's a being of pure logic. It sits silently until a question is posed, and which it then answers, and the words are considered to be the direct edicts from the lords of law. And a sect of keepers attend to the Sapientia Rex. They manage the visitors, the flow of visitors, and transcribe its words and organize them. And so here's where you could say like this is in the theocracy, right? And there's a schism. The Sapientia has issued some strange edicts that don't make sense with the rest of law, and so there's a debate on how to handle that. Is that the work of chaos? Is that the limitations of human beings just not seeing the big enough picture to know why these things are not inconsistent? I don't know. And again, maybe we'll never, maybe we'll encounter that. Maybe we won't, because part of uh, part of the fun of sword and sorcery is having a character just sort of wander around and stumble into things as opposed to uh, going on the big epic world saving quest. Right? You can also do that, but we'll see where things take us. Anyway, that's my world building. And the reason I'll give you a little preview. The reason we are not starting in Blot Yarn is because when I started to go back to solo play, I fleshed out the world and I made a couple of cities, got a little bit of an idea of where we're going. It says, your prologue, roll a prologue. And again, you're supposed to roll this on the map, and this is the prologue, and where the die lands tells you where you start. But I didn't follow that rule or that suggestion to the letter. But when I rolled, you get 6 prompts on the prologues table here, and you wake on a beach. The image of your brother pushing you off a cliff still vivid in your mind. Well, if I'm on a beach, then I'm not in Blot Yarn, but I am. I do know that I am in the Merchant. I need to start using my names instead of the prompts from the book, don't I? I am in the territories of the free cities of Ithoria. So I am in Ithoria somewhere. It must be in a town on the coast, because I'm on the beach. So that's where we're going to start. And so when I started rolling using this oracle, let me scroll back through my notes. Again, I've done quite a bit of this just in my spare time. The cool thing about this is I have a dice roller app on my phone. I have a notes app on my phone. Plus, if I'm connected, I have access to my Google Docs on my phone. So if I got 15 or 20 minutes, just on a lunch break or waiting. Had a couple of doctor's visits the last few weeks, just sitting in the lobby waiting to see the doctor. I pull up my phone and do a little solo role playing with the Black Sword Hat, because of course I got a PDF of the book on my phone as well. So anyway, I'm in the Merchant League. You wake on a beach, the image of your brother pushing you off a cliff still in your mind. And so I'll go back through. I'm not going to go through, because the first thing that comes out of this, and again, a little preview, because it'll be much longer to get into the adventures. It sort of implies, as I ask, kind of how do I make sense of this image, that my character has maybe had a few adventures in the past, and so I went ahead and bumped him up to 2nd level. What the Oracle did reveal when I was just asking yes and no was, I washed ashore? No. Okay, so I must have come here on a ship. Why am I asleep on a beach? If it's not from a shipwreck, am I hungover? Yes. Okay. Did I get drunk on the ship? The answer came up no, but. So no, but it must mean, okay, what I said was probably started drinking as soon as I came into port. So I'm hungover on a beach because I came here on a boat, and I'm probably passed out on the beach. So it must be in a port city. The thing is, as I said, am I near my destination or home base? And the Oracle says yes, but. So I figured that meant, one, I'm not in that. What that means is this place on the coast is kind of home for my character, or my home base of operations, or where I work from. It was a yes, but. So I could have said, am I near? I thought of, would that mean yes, but I've got a journey ahead of me. But I thought, no, we want to get right into the action, don't we? So what I came up with is yes, but I'm not expected back so early. and we'll get into why I would have come back early, and was not expected back this soon when I detail the adventure that we generate for Dolan. But that's it for the world building. Yay! All right, I'll be back with the next thing as soon as I get a chance to sit down and record.
Okay, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for listening. As I mentioned, kind of at the top of the show, reach out, leave a comment, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you guys out there. And I think next time I'll be back. I am working on now. We'll work on translating some of the actual play. I have completed a first adventure with the solo play rules, and I'm going to kind of parcel that out into digestible chunks. And I think I will go back to maybe first describing kind of how the die rolls work and where that leads on the adventure, with maybe more of a followed up with then going back with more of an actual narrative. Uh, um, I don't know. I think as I've started writing that, I'm writing it not in the first person like I did with Mortenborg, but in the third person. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm thinking this is supposed to evoke, those sword and sorcery stories. And when I think about Robert Howard, Michael Moorcock, Fritz Leiber, they're always third person short stories, not that sort of first person narration. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, until then, wherever you are out there, take care of yourself and make someone happy today. Thanks for listening to the Arcane Alienist podcast. The music you're hearing is Come and Get It by Scott Holmes Music. The cover art is by Dave Bone. Be sure to check out his stuff at ironseer.com. You can leave me a message. I have my SpeakPipe account linked to the show description. You can also send me an email at arcane.alienist@gmail.com. Just embed a voice memo, or I'll just read the text to your email during a future episode. Once again, thanks so much for listening.